Heads up, this review is going to be short. That's because if EA and Tiburon are going to crap out a product without much effort, I feel it is more than acceptable to reciprocate. I mean, if you want a bullet-by-bullet breakdown of this game's features and shortcomings, there are plenty of other folks out there that can provide that for you. My aim is not to create another Madden review that does nothing but rip the game apart for dozens of minutes. I respect your time, so for a quick TLDR, this game and the corporations it enriches are don't buy it. But I would like to highlight some of the changes and improvements that have been made, why Madden is in the state it is in, why Madden receives the response it receives every year, and why it doesn't really matter, at least for now.
Fucking thing sucks!
In 2021, the hashtag CancelEA, hashtag NFL CancelEA, it varied a little bit, began to trend all over social media, especially on Twitter. It was the battle cry for thousands of gamers that had grown disgruntled and disillusioned by the current state of Madden, more specifically its long abandoned and overlooked franchise mode. This got the attention of some folks at EA, and promises were made that the mode would be receiving the updates and improvements it so deserved. Now, has EA kept its word to this? Technically, yes. Has this been done in a way that clearly emphasized quality and sustainability over rushing to check boxes and satiate the angry mob? No. And here lies the crux of the issue. So sit back, relax, and let's examine how we got to where we are with this game, and why you should probably be playing Baldur's Gate 3 instead. But first, check this out. Look at this. He's being haunted by his skull cap. You know, in Baldur's Gate 3, you can summon lightning attacks and be a bear. A sexy bear.
Fucking thing sucks!
For this year's Madden, the team emphasized improving some mechanics and systems in the game, as well as bringing back some favorites. I'll highlight a few of these before moving along to the actual point I want to make with this review. One of the things EA touted was improving was their Field Sense technology, which aims to make the player feel like they have more control than ever. In reality, this is the animation package, right? Every year they add more animations. This remains true for Madden 24, and they have to tune it to what they believe works best. This is why usually 6 months or so after the game has come out, you hear a lot of people complaining about the animations and the physics. By then, EA has tweaked it so much that it doesn't resemble what most people experienced the first month or so they actually played the game after release. Another big change is the return of minigames. That's right, to satiate the franchise crowd still stuck in 2005, they brought back minigames as a fun way to improve your characters or improve your players and otherwise kill some time. This is something that many franchise players have been pining for and have finally received. Now, is it well done? No. Is it fair to criticize them for how less fleshed out it is than even its 15 years older iteration? Yes. But they did the thing you asked, so at least give them credit for doing the thing you asked for. Sticking with franchise, you can now have up to 6 trading slots compared to only 3 before, which I know is ridiculous. But note, this is only for the newer gen versions or next gen versions of the game, because EA doesn't care about the last gen folks. Though I will not lie, unfortunately this is where Baldur's Gate 3 also fails you. Now, updating the trading slot allocation is a positive all around. Is it a change that's late as hell? Yes. Every other game has updated their trading slots to 6 for a while now. Does the moronic trade logic within Madden nullify a lot of the excitement and flexibility a change like this should have? Absolutely. But again, they did a thing. Let's say they at least did the thing. Player contracts have also received an upgrade, with you now being able to receive more and better feedback as to what kind of contract offers you can extend to players and that they are willing to accept or refuse. However, on the flip side of this, free agent contracts remain untouched and still suffer from that fixed 1 year and dollar amount, because of course it does. But hopefully you can see the pattern emerging here. I could go on about how the revamped Superstar mode's single-player narrative is one of the worst written and performed career stories I've had the misfortune of experiencing. I mean, it makes Longshot look like The Blind Side. That is a football joke. For every step forward Madden takes, its half-assedness takes it back a step or two. It's this perpetual ineptitude that should lead us to pause and ask, why? Why is Madden in the state it currently is, and why does it never seem to improve in any meaningful way? My theory is that this answer is twofolded.
Fucking thing sucks!
1. Competence. Folks, have we ever taken a second to consider that they ain't got it, Chief? Has one ever postulated that what we've been seeing lately is actually some of the best work that this group of people are capable of producing? For all intents and purposes, Madden is in a make or break season. More and more competitors, big and small, are emerging in an effort to provide players with the football experience they have been begging for. Madden is not in a position to fumble the bag, but there they are, fumbling it more than their cover athlete fumbles the ball. This isn't an excuse. This is a storied game franchise with an immense commercial and cultural impact, and should be treated as such by the very company that owns it. But it's part of my theory. Something that seems less of a theory and more of a fact is part 2 of my theory. Accountability. Madden makes billions. EA is worth billions. The NFL is worth billions. This exclusivity agreement makes billions. Why would they care? What's the impetus to truly change and hold themselves accountable to customers? You, and I mean you collectively, not specifically, will buy this game. They know that, and the people up the chain that we should be demanding much more accountability from also know this. This is what I believe prompts the visceral negative responses Madden receives every year it releases. There is an overwhelming sense of helplessness with moving this game in a direction that prioritizes quality over quick fixes and monetization. And this is also the reason why all the pitchforks, fist-wringing, hour-long diatribes won't really matter. I mean, it'll affect some action so that the devs that work on this game won't continue to be bombarded by people on their Twitter feeds, but substantive changes are well on the back burner. Are there ways to enact change? Sure. I can, once again, think of 2.
Fucking thing sucks!
The first is not to buy the game. You, again, collectively, won't do that. I think it's time we as a community come to this honest realization. Every year, hundreds of people swear off buying the game, and every year they come back and buy it anyway. Yeah, maybe not at launch, but when this thing inevitably drops to $2 in a few months, you'll swoop in and pick it up. So that leads to number 2. Support another game instead. Essentially the first option, but redirect your purchasing power to another game that meets what you're looking for. You won't really do this either. Titles like Maximum and Axis Football have existed for years to try to service a segment of simulation football fans that want something that really fills the void. Some have given these titles a chance, but many haven't. Anyway, the game that everyone seems to be hoping turns the tide against Madden is the football game currently in development by 2K. The old 2K football games are great and offer some of the most pure simulation football experiences ever put into pixels. But those games are 20 years old, and much like EA Madden, the 2K of yesteryear isn't the 2K of today. 2K's game is also not going to fall into that simulation category since Madden has the exclusivity on that, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of experience 2K delivers. Again, the hope is that 2K's offering will offer a superior football experience and put some pressure on EA and Madden to improve their product in a meaningful way. The solution for how we can pressure Madden towards substantial change is there, but to effect that change requires us to sacrifice the convenience and lore of buying a game where we get to roleplay as our favorite sports teams and sports heroes. But until the consumer base collectively gets to that point, franchise, mutt, superstar, or whatever, the chance of true change is slim to none. That's it. Let me know what your thoughts are on Madden 24 and the state of Madden in general. Do you agree or do you see things differently? Also, I'm 1/3 of the Thoughts and Players podcast, a weekly gaming podcast where we talk about video games, but we'll chat about some music, movies, board games, and other distractions. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully, I'll catch you on the next level.